Starting off this countdown, we have the sleep paralysis demon. Now there's a theory that when we dream, we get transported to another dimension or reality. This has been used to explain why some people experience precognitive dreams, where they have dreams that predict future events. It's also said that when you sleep and you cross dimensions, well, you can encounter some terrifying beings, like the sleep paralysis demon, a demon that is said to sit on your chest while you're sleeping, making it hard for you to move, speak, or breathe. Others say that they have woken up to see it lurking in their doorframe just staring at them. Either way, it is terrifying. So next time you wake up and you're suffering from sleep paralysis, you might be in another dimension. In our 9th spot today, we have Bathsheba. Bathsheba is a real demon that was featured in the movie The Conjuring, which is allegedly based on true stories. In the movie, it's the demon that was haunting the Perron family. Bathsheba Sherman used to live on their property in Harrisville, Rhode Island back in the mid-1800s. She was a Satanist that killed a number of neighbors. When she died, her spirit latched onto the house and killed several of the homeowners. Some drowned, a few themselves in the attic, another one was murdered. Now apparently Ed and Lorraine Warren did exorcise this demon, but apparently she's still out there, ready to latch on to a new family. Coming in at number 8, we have skinwalkers. A skinwalker is said to be this witch or demon that can turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. They have their origins in Navajo culture. They have horrific stories of what these demons would do to their victims. Now, they frequently disguise themselves as coyotes, wolves, foxes, eagles, owls, or crows. Some people even believe that skinwalkers have the ability to steal the face of a person. If you lock eyes with a skinwalker, it's said that they can absorb themselves into your body, or your body will freeze with fear, which will allow them to channel that fear to gain power and energy. Sounds like something from another dimension. Moving on to number 7, we have incubus. The incubus is a male demon that preys on young women in their sleep. He visits them in their dreams and tries to engage in sexual activity with them. One of his goals is to impregnate the women, who then will give birth to his demon baby. There have been a number of real stories of women being visited by this demon in their sleep. They have woken up in the middle of the night and have felt the incubus demon holding them down. Others have seen a blurry silhouette of this demon on them while feeling it caress their body. But no matter what, you can't move. You're kind of just stuck there. In our 6th spot today, we have the succubus demon. So I just talked about incubus, it's time to talk about the female counterpart, succubus. Succubus dates back to medieval times. It's a demon that can transform themselves into attractive females to seduce men and engage in sexual activity with them. Then it's said that they can eat a man's soul, or if the men are repeatedly visited by her in their dreams, that she can cause them death. Again, just like the incubus demons, lots of men have said that they have been visited by a succubus demon in their dreams. They're unable to move, but feel this demon on their body taking advantage of them. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the girl with jet black hair. According to Reddit user WeirdDreams58, he always has weird dreams, so his username is spot on. Anyways, he has a problem with lucid dreaming. In particular, every time that he lucid dreams, the same demon tries to reach out to him. Usually the demon looks like a girl with jet black hair, but has also taken on the appearance of his grandmother and fiancée to try and trick him. In the dreams, the demon usually charges at him and he wakes up talking in Latin. And he doesn't know Latin. He's not even Latin, okay? That's pretty creepy. Especially since he claims that he's seen the same demon for about 2 years now in his dreams. Moving on to number 4, we have Oiwa. This is a pretty famous Japanese demon that some insist is real. Basically, back in the 17th century, a woman named Oiwa was betrayed by her husband. He left her to marry a younger, richer woman. So what he did was kill her off by giving her poisonous cosmetic cream. When Oiwa put it on her face, it disfigured it completely. But she came back as a ghost and continued to haunt her husband until he was driven mad by it. The real Oiwa passed away in 1636, and apparently she haunts her gravesite to this day. On top of that, mysterious disasters and deaths have occurred to any production that tries to produce her story, like theater plays, TV shows, you name it. Also, her shrine had to be rebuilt a number of times because it kept mysteriously burning down to the ground and getting destroyed. Some say this is all just a legend, but others believe it to be true. So maybe it is true, but in a parallel universe. Moving on to number 3, we have Beelzebub. We all know this demon, okay? At least you should know about him, or you have heard about him. Beelzebub is a demon whose name also translates to Lord of the Flies. As a result, he is often depicted as an evil fly or as a man with wings. In Christian texts, the name Beelzebub is often associated with the devil himself. They would alternate between using this name and Satan. He is considered one of the 7 princes of hell, and he is associated with the sin gluttony. In other texts, he is described as the lieutenant of hell, second in power only to Satan. Now, Beelzebub actually had a huge influence on the Salem witch trials. He was blamed for possessing the souls of those who were accused of being witches. Apparently, when one witch was burned at the stake, a swarm of black flies fled from her body. So people say that she was possessed by this demon. In our second spot today, we have the Wendigo. The Wendigo is a man-eating monster from Algonquin folklore. In fact, it is considered the most feared monster in all of their lore. The Wendigo has been depicted in a variety of ways, but most people agree that he is a super tall and gaunt demon with antlers, and it has its skin pulled tightly over its bones. Upon eating humans, it would grow in size. However, it will never lose its gaunt-like appearance. In one origin story, it's believed that this creature evolved from a lost hunter, whose hunger and the extreme cold weather drove him to which we have to beep out, no fun. Now it's considered a terrifying flesh-eating demon that can possess people and turn them into cannibals. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Zozo. Zozo is probably the scariest demon on this list, simply because a number of people have had real-life encounters with him. Some believe that Zozo resides in another dimension, and when summoned with an Ouija board can cross over to ours. The thing is that this demon likes to trick people. He can pretend to be a loved one, so if you're using an Ouija board and asking it questions, he can say he's your dead aunt or grandma or someone like that. So you're tricked into thinking you're talking to a friendly ghost. And then when you let your guard down, bam, he can possess you. In fact, he likes to target the vulnerable, like the young or those going through a tough time. So be careful, be safe, and don't let Zozo into your home or our universe.
In our number 10 spot today, we have the anglerfish. In case you're thinking, hey, this fish looks familiar. Well, that's probably because this is the fish from Finding Nemo that almost ate Marlin and Dory after Dory sang her infamous ballad, Just Keep Swimming. Gosh, now that I've been reminded of it, you better believe that I'm gonna be singing it all night long. This aquatic fish can be found in some of the darkest spots of the ocean. The anglerfish has an organ attached to the front of its head. Yes, that's right, an organ. This organ is called an esca. The esca is able to emit light due to a special form of bacteria called bioluminescence. The esca organ is actually the reason that the anglerfish is able to live in the ocean about 3,300 feet, which is 583 feet more than the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. There is supposed to be over 200 species of the anglerfish. That's 200 too many if you ask me. Next up in our number 9 spot today, we have the goblin shark. Named because it looks just like the mythical creatures and perhaps just like the H.P. Gringotts bank employees, but in fish form, the goblin shark has been swimming in the deepest parts of the sea for over 100 million years, most known to be found near Japan. The goblin shark has a long snout, which is a kind of antenna, which makes it capable of sensing the minute electric fields being sent out by prey nearby. They can grow to be 12 feet long and weigh up to 460 pounds. Wow. Their fang-like teeth allows them to snap up their prey and devour it. At this point, scientists don't know too much about their behavior, however they have concluded that they live a pretty solitary life. Next up in our number 8 spot, we have the harp sponge, also known as the Chondrocladia lyra. I have to say, this sea creature is actually so satisfying to look at for some reason. Anyone else get me? It literally looks like a harp, which makes it so hard to believe that it is a living creature. This sponge-like creature is actually known for its carnivorous appetite. It actually has Velcro-like hooks on the external part of its body, and they trap copepods and other small crustaceans. They then break down its prey until it's able to be absorbed through its pores. So it sucks you in with its Velcro-like body parts and proceeds to eat you. In our 7th spot today, we have the vampire squid. Yes, a real underwater vampire. Despite its name, the vampire squid is actually neither a squid nor an octopus. Scientists have separated it into its own group, even though it is quite similar with 8 arms and 2 tentacles. The vampire squid can grow to around 12 inches in length. Its body varies from completely jet black to red. Its name comes from its dark color, and its skin kind of resembles a cape as its skin is connected to its arms. Fun fact, if one of its arms were to be removed by, say, a predator, then it can regenerate and grow back. That's pretty cool. Coming up in our 6th spot today, we have the barrel-eye fish. Okay, not going to lie, this fish looks like it's from another planet, let alone a parallel universe. It basically looks like it had a run-in with the company that makes those glow-in-the-dark bracelets, and my inner 90s baby is super happy to see this. Do kids these days still use glow-in-the-dark bracelets? Please let me know in the comment section below. The barrel-eye fish is a deep-sea fish, also known as a spookfish, and it got its name because it has barrel-shaped eyes with green lenses. They are known to have large fins, and they're also known to have a transparent head that fills with fluid. Before 2009, scientists actually believed that they could only look up, but they have since observed that the fish can rotate its eyes forward when it's eating. That's pretty cool. The barrel-eye fish is usually seen looking like it's lying down motionless. According to researchers, their transparent heads and green pigmented eyes help in filtering out the sunlight reaching their deep-sea habitat. They have also been found to be in the North Pacific waters and near Baja California and Japan. In our 5th spot today, we have the flapjack octopus. Gosh, why is it named this? Now I'm going to have to eat pancakes after this video. As delicious as its name sounds, its look instantly makes you say, better not. In fact, it looks more like a cute Pokemon if anything, so I'm going to choose to believe that it's really a creature from a universe where Pokemon really exist and it somehow got into our universe through some underwater portal. The flapjack octopus is a part of the umbrella octopus family, known for their umbrella-like appearance during any kind of movement. It lives between 500 to 1,500 meters below the sea. They are mostly found in the eastern Pacific Ocean, with some sightings in the mid-Atlantic Ocean. They don't have a long lifespan, usually living for 1.5 to 2.5 years. The flapjack octopus eats prawns, lobsters, crayfish, shrimp, krill, crabs, to name a few. When it's ready to hunt, it flattens out its body in order to appear less threatening. The flapjack is another creature found in Finding Nemo, one of Nemo's, class friends named Pearl. In our 4th spot today, we have the Dumbo octopus. As you can probably guess, its nickname came from the fact that its ears are as cute as the famous Disney character, Dumbo. The Dumbo octopus, like the flapjack, is another umbrella octopus, and it can live down to the depths of 13,100 feet, and some scientists speculate even deeper. They are inkless, unlike a lot of their cousins, and they move by slowly flapping their ears, and they use their arms to steer. Fun fact about female Dumbo octopuses, they can actually store sperm for long periods of time after mating with a male. This is to their advantage, of course, because they can then transfer sperm to the most developed eggs when it is the right time for reproducing. No comment, but that sounds great. They eat pelagic invertebrates that swim above the seafloor, and as such, they spend much of their lives suspended above the seafloor. In our 3rd spot today, we have gulper eels. The gulper eel is quite terrifying to look at, and it is definitely the kind of fish that makes me slightly terrified to go swimming in the ocean. But I don't have to worry because they are in the deep sea. I only have to worry about, sharks, stingrays, and stepping on a jellyfish. The gulper eel has a very distinctive trait. It has a very large mouth, and it tends to snap at its prey, similar to a snake. Its large mouth and its ability to open wide allows it to eat creatures you would otherwise assume would be too big for it to eat. It has a very skinny body, long and snake-like. They are about 2 to 3 feet in length, and they live in the deep sea, ranging from 1,600 to almost 10,000 feet below the surface. Known to be the fish of your nightmares, and of course I don't disagree with this. In our 2nd spot today, we have the pelican flounder. This fish is actually mostly found in the western Pacific and Indian Oceans. The pelican flounder makes itself as flat as possible to counter the pressure levels of the deep sea. Scientists haven't been able to observe this fish much in its natural habitat, and so therefore nothing much is known. But we do know that the pelican larva, however, looks like it is from another dimension, and it has a very alien-like sort of appearance. The larvae are transparent and become brown as they grow into their adult form. They grow to be about 38 centimeters in length. Save the best till last. In our first spot today, we have the blobfish. Most people say that this is the ugliest fish in the world, but personally I think the goblin shark is worse. Would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Which fish is uglier? The blobfish, the goblin shark, or let's throw in the anglerfish too, because that's another gross one. The blobfish has been described to look like a half-melted human reduced to nothing more than a bubble. That is the perfect description of it. It also kind of reminds me of slime, but living. This fish can be found living in the deep sea of the coast of Australia and New Zealand. It is said to be residing in about 2,000 and 3,900 feet deep. Apparently the only reason it looks like the way that it does is because of depressurization damage done while bringing the animal to the surface. It looks like a fairly normal fish though at the bottom of the ocean. The blobfish has an extremely long lifespan of 130 years. It weighs about 20 pounds and it's about 12 inches long. They have no teeth, no skeleton, and they don't spend much energy moving around. So basically their name is quite fitting. In our number 10 spot we have Sasquatch. Alright guys, there have been so many Sasquatch sightings over the years that I'm pretty sure he lives in our universe, but who knows, maybe he jumps between other universes. I could believe it. There was a crazy Sasquatch sighting off of a ski slope where at least 20 people stopped skiing to take a look at the giant hairy creature that looks just like every description of Sasquatch. Giant, about 8 to 10 inches, high, hairy, ape-like, living in the woods. Someone got it on film, but it's so far away that you can only make out how big it is, but none of its features. Its features were hidden behind a shadow. The people that saw it firsthand though swear that it's a Sasquatch. It is believed that Sasquatch is a human ancestor that never evolved the same way the rest of us did, which, I don't know, could be possible, but I think it came here from another universe, personally. Or perhaps another time. Maybe it walked through time somehow. Or if it came from another universe, maybe it came from a place where only Sasquatches exist. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button as it will really help us out. In our number 9 spot we have Nessie. Nessie has got to be real. There has gotta be magic left in this world. There has to be. I refuse to believe otherwise. Do you know how many sightings there have been of Nessie? Okay, fine, me either. But there have been many, like too many to count. There's a whole website dedicated to people sharing their sighting stories. My theory is though, it must live on another plane of existence and come down to ours every so often, or it's from a parallel universe and slips into ours. Or do you think it's possible that we get glimpses into other universes at times? Here is a video though, taken from the air that shows us a brief moment when perhaps Nessie visited our universe. This video is nuts because if you want to argue that the creature swimming is not Nessie, then what is it? A long-necked dinosaur that still exists? Perhaps a swimming giraffe? Like, come on. Nessie is real, y'all. This video is totally showing something. In our number 8 spot, we have the werewolf. Another mythological creature that might actually live in another parallel universe is the werewolf. Why? I don't know, because it feels like it should exist. Also, there have been sightings of it every so often, and it's always alone, so it's possible that it exists in our universe, but something makes me think that if it did, then why haven't we seen more than one? It would have had to reproduce somehow. Unless it can reproduce on its own, then perhaps I might believe it. Fun fact, a lot of species can actually reproduce via an immaculate conception. A turkey is one of them. Mind blown, I didn't know. Anyways, here's a very cool / interesting sighting of a werewolf that took place in Brazil in 2015. What's cool about this footage is that many people actually saw this creature and wrote about it online, and so it does give the picture some validity. He has long pointy ears, strange wolf-like legs, and has a small tail. The shot is blurry as it's night out, but you can still see that whatever it is, it's not human. You know what it reminds me of? Stranger Things. And the Demogorgon came from a parallel universe, so perhaps that's what this is. goddess. In our number 7 spot, we have the parking lot demon. Hey, demons are creatures too. I had to include this one on this list because this could be a demon or a ghost, but whatever it is, it's definitely not from our universe, or it's on another plane of existence and glitching into ours. So the story goes that years ago in Serbia, a woman was being chased by something in a parking lot. She was so scared that she went to the police to report it. The police reviewed the camera footage from the parking lot and discovered something insane. Yes, the woman was being chased, but whoever was chasing her was a transparent human. That's right, see-through. This was such a shock to the police that the story made it onto their local news. The footage is so wild to see that personally I think it makes you an instant believer after viewing it. Believer in something. Not necessarily demons or ghosts, but a believer that there is something magical out there that we don't know about yet. In our number 6 spot, we have mermaids. A mermaid is a mythological creature that is half human, half fish that is said to live in the sea. Under the sea. For centuries, people have believed in mermaids. Fishermen have recalled tales of seeing a fish that looked human, and of course they say that every story comes from some truth. Whether the story of the Little Mermaid actually came from a real sighting of a mermaid is up for debate. Some believe that mermaids exist but perhaps look different than what we would imagine them to be. There have been videos that fishermen have posted online of fish that could pass as mermaids, such as in this clip. This fish has 4 breasts, a big tummy, arms like a human, but has a shark-like head and mermaid-like fin for legs. So perhaps this could be a mermaid, it just doesn't have the long red hair and look as glamorous as Ariel. Regardless, the sea is a whole other universe that we haven't explored much of, so I bet you mermaids do exist. In our number 5 spot, we have gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses have been worshipped and believed in since, well, the dawn of time. No, they are not mythical creatures, but they are mythical and needed to be on this list. Do you ever think about where the heck the stories about gods and goddesses perhaps came from? Did one person make them up and then others expanded on them? Perhaps. But what if none of them were made up? What if the story of Thor was channeled and it is really a story that took place in another parallel universe? It's definitely possible. There have been a few strange sightings of gods and goddesses over the years. There is one sighting of an eye in the clouds that people wondered if it was the eye of God. It's pretty wild to see, and I wonder what you think. Is this a pure coincidence that the clouds look like an eye, or perhaps is that the eye of God watching us, or a god watching us? In our number 4 spot, we have dragons. Dragons are mythical creatures that fly, have long tails, and breathe fire. They have long been cherished by the people of China, who on many occasions have said that they feel the spirit of them or have spotted them. There is a video that was once floating around the internet that would make you think that perhaps they are real. This video isn't confirmed to be real though, but if it is, aw, that's the cutest baby dragon ever. The second video, however, is for sure real, and it is honestly a bit frightening to see. Some think that's a dragon, and some think it's a god or Jesus. But honestly, it could very well be an alien too. Personally, I think dragons most likely exist as a whole in another universe, but it's possible that we may have 1 or 2 in our universe as well. Who knows? In our number 3 spot, we have the Loveland frog. Before this video, I had never heard of this mythical creature. This creature is essentially a giant humanoid that has qualities of a frog. Much to my surprise, there have been some sightings of this creature that definitely make you think, huh, perhaps it is real. Not enough up close and personal sightings though. But perhaps this is another creature that is from another universe. Watch, there is another universe out there where all of these creatures live and no humans exist. Then we would be their mythical creatures. Here is some footage someone found of what looks to be a Loveland frog. It certainly looks like one to me. I would love to know your thoughts. In our number 2 spot, we have the Yeti. The Yeti is an ape-like being entity that people have spoken about as a mythical creature from Asia. No scientist has ever been able to get face to face with a Yeti, and so therefore it hasn't been officially classified as real. But just because we haven't gotten up close and personal with something doesn't mean that it is not real. Perhaps the Yeti has been hiding from humans. Perhaps the Yeti doesn't trust humans. Perhaps the Yeti is just from another universe. Well, not too long ago there were sightings of the Yeti, and here is a photo that someone captured of it running away. I feel like that is solid proof of the Yeti existing. Whether it is what we think it is, a creature more like a human but very tall, hairy, and not as evolved, that is the question. Perhaps it is not what we think it is at all. Perhaps it has magical powers and that is how it has stayed disguised all of this time. Or perhaps he goes back into his own dimension from time to time. Who knows? In our number 1 spot we have fairies. If there is one mythical creature that I am personally obsessed with and would be very, very happy if it existed, it would be the fairy. All of my life I have been obsessed with the idea of them. In fact, all of my life people would say to me that I am very fairy-like. Of course they meant that my spirit reminds them of how movies have portrayed fairies, and so that's their understanding of what fairies are. Personally, I think it is very possible that fairies live among us, and most likely in Ireland. Did you know that it was once thought that the people of Atlantis came to Ireland as their continent was sinking, and so therefore some Irish people would be magical like the Atlanteans, and some believe that our idea of fairies are perhaps just these people that are from Atlantis. Very interesting thought. Perhaps they live in another dimension though, and that's why we can't see them. Or maybe they all went to a parallel universe. Honestly, we could wonder about this forever, and it is fun, but I suppose unless we develop a device that allows us to slip into other dimensions, then we will never really know. But it's sure fun to imagine.
Starting off this list, in our number 10 spot we have Baal. Baal is ranked as the first of the Ars Goetia, which I obviously had to look up because I had no idea what that was. If you're like me and aren't exactly up to date on your demonology, as explained by the demonicparadisefandom.com, quote, the Ars Goetia, also known as the 72 Pillars, is a group comprised of 72 demons with exemplary strength and their own legions. They are listed in the grimoire Lesser Key of Solomon. Okay, cool, that was easy to understand. So, Baal is the first on that, and he is the principal king of hell. It is said that he governs somewhere from 66 to 250 legions of demons and spirits, so he's clearly a workaholic. In grimoire tradition, it is said that Baal appears in the form of a man, a cat, a toad, or different combinations of those with the appearance of a king or a soldier, but with the heads of these creatures, and on a set of spider legs. So, I'm just saying, the guy's not easy to miss. I feel like that's pretty clear exactly who that is. In our number 9 spot today we have Amon. Amon is the Great Marquis of Hell, and he is the 7th of the demons of the Ars Goetia, which thankfully we now know all about. It is said that he is in charge of governing 40 different legions of demons, but his favorite thing to do with humans is making them fall in love with each other. He is also known to settle debates, and you might be sitting there thinking that this guy actually sounds pretty cool and nice, but despite these cool nice things he enjoys, he is anything but nice. Just like he can make people fall in love, he can do the exact opposite as well. He can cause people to turn against each other and can even will someone to harm the innocent, which is terrifying. To make that thought slightly less horrifying, it is said he doesn't usually do this for no reason, and usually only does this when attacked or if someone is standing in his way of completing a mission. Still not good, but I suppose that's better than just random acts of violence. It is said that Amon appears as a wolf with a snake's tail and that he possesses the ability to breathe fire. Or he will appear as a man with dog teeth who is inside of a raven. I don't know, ask him about that one, not me. In our number 8 spot today we have Asmodeus. Asmodeus is the king of demons and earthly spirits and is often referred to as one of the 7 princes of hell. He also represents one of the 7 deadly sins, lust. Before becoming a demon in his former life, he was an angel who was known as Asmodel, the angel of April and patience who rules the zodiac sign Taurus. But of course we are here to talk about his demon form, which is said to appear as either a ruthless, brutal monster or as a kind of mischievous demon that is playful and quick thinking. Honestly, I'm not sure which form would be worse to encounter. The monster would be scary, but a little annoying demon would be so frustrating. For the most terrifying exit I've ever heard of, it is said that Asmodeus will cut himself into pieces and immediately after disappear. In our number 7 spot today we have Leviathan. Leviathan isn't fully a demon, but he is even a step above as he is a primordial beast of darkness and chaos, and he is one of the 7 princes of hell, as well as its gatekeeper. He also represents one of the deadly sins, envy. The entrance to hell is actually said to be Leviathan's mouth, known as the Hellmouth. The exact origins of Leviathan aren't exactly clear, but in the end it is agreed that he fell from God's grace and became the beast of the chaotic oceans that cannot be tamed by man or beast. So Leviathan is the beast of the oceans, Behemoth is the beast of the earth, and Ziz is the beast of the air. After the war in heaven, these 3 beasts all turned on each other and then threw all of what they govern and those who live in it into absolute madness. This forced God to step in and separate these three beasts so that they didn't completely destroy the earth. It is said that if anyone tries to escape the inferno of hell, Leviathan will devour them and suck them inside of his stomach. Here they will remain forever to be burned in the flames of the body. In our number 6 spot today we have Mammon. Mammon is another one of those fallen angels turned demon and is often associated with the sin of greed. Because of this, Mammon is the noble demon lord of cupidity, richness, abundance, prosperity, wealth, and injustice. It is said that even during his time in heaven, he spent more time looking at the golden roads rather than God himself because he was already obsessed with gold and riches. Actually, it is reported that his obsession with the gold was so serious that his fall from heaven wasn't really because he was passionate about Lucifer's rebellion, he was just too focused on wealth, and this was enough for him to be cast out by Archangel Gabriel. It is said that Mammon is the creator of alchemy, and he is the one who bestowed the knowledge to humans of what alchemical compounds are needed to make gold. It is said that because he gave this top secret information out, it led to the creation of these sort of humanoid creatures that possess great power and strength, which indirectly makes him the creator of these creatures. In our number 5 spot today we have Azazel. Azazel is one of the chief governors of the Grigori, which is a group of fallen angels who married female mortals, which then produced the Nephilim, which were these scary giant creatures that ate mortals. In the beginning, Azazel started as an eater of sins, but the more sins he consumed, the hungrier he became, and this led to him not being satiated by the sins he was receiving. The reason he was cast from heaven is because he taught men how to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates, which then led to humans being corrupted and thinking that they were invisible. It is said that the humans went so far that they were planning to raid heaven, and this is when God told Raphael to bind Azazel's hands and feet, open up a hole in the desert, and toss him in, casting him into darkness. This worked, and for a long time Azazel remained in prison. It was so bad that the jagged rocks near him tore his physical body away, and this left him as a mass of darkness covered in mouths and eyes. Later freed by Lucifer, he went on to join the demons in hell. In our number 4 spot today we have Beelzebub. Beelzebub is a former seraph who turned into a high-ranking demon. He is one of the princes of hell and also oversees the Order of the Fly. He, Satan, and Lucifer form the triarchy of hell, which makes him one of the supreme monarchs of the underworld. As a seraphim, he was under the Archangel Gabriel, but he was one of the very first angels to fall. He is often confused with Satan, and while the two names can technically be interchanged, they are two separate entities, and in some writings they even disagree at times. Beelzebub is associated with pride and gluttony, and he has also been held responsible for demonic possessions throughout the years. Unfortunately, flies are a very important thing for him, as it is said that he can take the form of them. Now his main job is to rule over the fallen angels as well as all of the demons that are originally from hell. In our number 3 spot today we have Paimon. Paimon is the 9th pillar of the Ars Goetia, and he is a king of hell that is most obedient to Lucifer. He is normally depicted as a strong man with a face that has softer features. He wears a crown, and he is seen riding a dromedary, which is a type of one-humped camel, usually trained for riding or races. Before him there is often a whole group of demons and ghouls who are in the shape of mortal men, playing instruments like trumpets and cymbals, which is of course meant to give Paimon a grand entrance to wherever he is on the way to. He is manipulative, malicious, and honestly pretty hostile. He inflicts psychological, physical, and spiritual torment, and will even go as far as to recreate traumatic events or just give terrifying visions and nightmares. His voice is so loud and roaring that whoever invokes him has to command him to alter his speech, or else he'll continue speaking at an ear-splitting volume, and he won't be able to be heard or understood. If he's not causing you torment, it is said that he can tell you all of the mysteries of the earth though. I'm still not convinced it's worth the risk, however. In our number 2 spot today we have Belial. Belial is the 68th spirit in the Goetia, and he is one of the crowned princes of hell, but he is also known as Hell's brightest fire, Evil's match, and the king of evil, so I think it's safe to say that he's pretty terrifying. He is mighty and powerful, and this is likely due to the fact that he was created right after Lucifer, which is of course part of the reason why Belial belongs to his order. Belial was once an angel, but after his fall from grace he became a demon of lies and guilt, and he possesses the ability to induce any type of sin, but his favorite is the sin of lust. Belial is so evil that it's said he started a civil war in hell. While still an angel just before his fall, in the War of Heaven, Belial slayed numerous angels, and as a demon, just in general, he would slay huge demonic armies that attempted to make any moves against him or any of the other 7 great kings. In our number 1 spot today we have Belphegor. Belphegor is a fallen angel, and after his fall from heaven, he has now become the demon lord presiding over the sin of sloth. It is said that as Belphegor served as a lieutenant from hell, he was sent to Earth on a mission by Satan. While he was on Earth, he grew quite fond of Paris, France, and it is said that because of this affinity, he now lurks deep within the catacombs under the city. Belphegor can be invoked by mortals who are wishing to find fame and wealth, usually through as little effort as possible. But these wishes are of course doomed to fail because of the demon's true mission to lure the dreamers into sloth. Through the failure of whatever was provided to the dreamer by Belphegor, he then draws them into procrastination and idle dreaming rather than active production, which then condemns them to a life of failure. Belphegor is also recognized as one of the 7 great kings who rule over hell.
At number 10 is King Pamion. Pamion, a crowned king of spirits, is a regal figure atop a camel and heralded by your call through the dance of the Ouija board's planchette. Now if your board is speaking gibberish, it may be because this demon speaks only in tongue and will only speak the practitioner's native language when commanded to. But you might not want to actually speak to this guy, as Pamion and his associated demons are obedient companions of Lucifer and always demand a sacrifice, an offering to appease the accompanying kings who serve beneath his dominion. Yet with any encounter with the supernatural, you must tread carefully. Pamion's power is matched only by his complexity. Whispers suggest that he was once a dominion, while others debate his cherubic origins. You know the cherub? No, not those little babies with wings, but the biblically accurate angel with 5 heads, 4 wings, and covered in eyes? Well, Pamion was said to once be one of those types of angels before he got buddied up with Lucy. Texts like the Goetia and the Liber Officium Spirituum, sorry if I butchered that, reveal Pamion's insight into science, treasures, and even Earth's elements, while the Livre de Espirits adds truth answering and world affairs to that list of abilities you may gain access to, assuming your sacrifice is worthy. He can also grant power and positions, future sight, spirit summoning, and even temporary reanimation, which is probably why they say not to play with the Ouija board in cemeteries. But before you pull out your Ouija board and start summoning, if you're enjoying this video so far, subscribing to Most Amazing and ringing that notification bell. At number 9 is Zozo. For all of you who don't know, Zozo is the most famous demon associated with the Ouija board. You see, Zozo isn't your typical run-of-the-mill demon. In fact, some sources claim that he exhibits poltergeist-like behavior, throwing around furniture and whatnot. But here's the kicker. The effects linger long after the Ouija board session ends, whether you probably close the session or not. The chilling presence of Zozo can haunt you for years. It's like having an uninvited guest that just won't leave, no matter how many times you ask it to. That if you find yourself face to face with this malevolent force, it's crucial, actually imperative, that you shut down the Ouija board right away, and to be doubly safe, why not consider giving that board a fiery farewell? Yeah, that's right, burn it! The Z to the O to the Z to the O movement on the planchette is your cue to bid adieu and consign that board to the flame. Now allegedly, the more we talk about him, the stronger he becomes, so let's move on to the next demon, shall we? At number 8 is President Boer. Pseudo-Demonarchia Demonum. Holy cow. This great president of hell commands 50 legions of demons and materializes under celestial embrace of Sagittarius, whatever that means. Now tread carefully, because wielding a Ouija board to beckon Buer might unleash a tempest of consequences. But why would you want to summon this demon from hell in the first place? Well, maybe if you were a fan of myth, as this demon is sometimes described as a centaur, but it can also take the form of whatever the hell that is. A lion's head and a peculiar symphony of 5 legs, which walks in all directions. This demon is said to unveil the mysteries of natural and moral philosophy, logic, and esoteric secrets of flora. That's right, his dominion extends to the botanical realm, granting insights into herbs and plants and qualities of uses. But his influence can bless more than just esoteric farmers. His touch possesses healing powers, capable of mending even the most profound human infirmities. Yet, dear voyagers of the mystical, be wary of the strings you pull, because with Buer's knowledge comes a weighty responsibility, and tampering with the arcane invites both enlightenment and peril. Buer embodies wisdom and potency, a dichotomy that dances on the edge of dark on the edge of discovery and darkness. So should you dare beckon Buer through the Ouija board's eternal gateway, brace yourself for the journey that could forever alter the fabric of your reality. Or just don't. At number 7 is Veilfar. This Duke of Hell, or should I say Donkey of Hell? While Veilfar might promise you the world, or at least a bag of swag, you're essentially opening a door to forces that might not be all that interested in keeping their end of the bargain. He's the Duke of Hell after all, and that comes with legions of otherworldly troublemakers, so not really the kind of RSVP you'd want. So before you whip out the old Ouija board and decide to give Veilfar a call, just remember that there are risks and consequences involved. Perhaps it's best to stick to the realm of curiosity and exploration rather than diving headfirst into the unknown. But if you are going to call him, it's noted that he's a manager of a rather unique department in hell. You see, he's in charge of cultivating good relationships among, wait for it, thieves. Yeah, you heard me right. Veilfar is the ultimate matchmaker for those looking to dabble in the art of larceny. He's like the Cupid of the criminal underworld, except instead of arrows, he wields temptation. Legend has it that Veilfar has a knack for tempting individuals into a life of theft. He's got a charming allure, a sort of devilishly enticing charisma that convinces people to satch a little something here and there. But it doesn't grant you immunity to being caught, and has been known to put people in risky situations. At number 6 is Gamgin. According to certain texts, Gamgin takes the form of a small horse rather than a peculiar initial appearance for a demon. Gamgin's duties and abilities are quite intriguing. While the Lesser Key of Solomon primarily attributes his responsibilities to teaching liberal arts and providing the accounts of souls that died in sin, describes Gamgin as a marquis who possesses the power to summon the souls of those who drown in the airy bodies. These souls are compelled to answer questions, painting a picture of a sort of supernatural interrogation conducted by this demon. Interestingly, it's said that Gamgin can also work his mysteries on magic souls dwelling in purgatory, allowing them to communicate with the living. At number 5 is Barbas. Barbas, who's also known as Marbas, is a remarkable demon from the Ars Goetia, overseeing an impressive 36 legions of his kind. Imagine this guy as a cosmic Google, unveiling hidden truths and secrets, a supernatural physician capable of healing disease, and an otherworldly engineer with insights into mechanical arts. But here's where it gets truly captivating. Barbas is no ordinary demon, he's a shapeshifter. But let's not forget the gravity of these endeavors, because summoning demons is no game. It's a serious pursuit that requires caution and respect. See, the Ouija board might serve as a conduit, but the consequences of meddling with the unknown can be profound and unsettling. Now, as for the name Barbas, it's Latin with historical significance. From the Latin barba, meaning beards, it ties with hellebore, which is a plant intertwined with witchcraft. At number 4 is Vasago. Vasago is described as a prince of good nature. Magicians who dare to summon him may have their sights on uncovering secrets of time itself, as Vasago is renowned for divulging knowledge of past and future events. Not only that, but lost objects may be rediscovered through his magical influence. But although he's described as a demon in the Lesser Key of Solomon, Vasago's influence extends to the Book of Office of Spirits, where he takes the identity of Usago, an angelic figure with a penchant for kind and just actions. According to this text, if you're seeking to ignite the flames of love or unveil hidden treasures, Vasago might be your go-to celestial matchmaker and treasure hunter. At number 3 is Chronozon. Chronozon is a demon with a mystic legacy that spans centuries, as he made his debut in the 16th century, but has been notably associated with Aleister Crowley's Themalia, where he is the dweller in the abyss, the last barrier to enlightenment. Thelemites believe that confronting Chronozon annihilates the ego, a ticket to deeper understanding. Not sure I'd want to achieve enlightenment with the help of a demon, but I digress. Now, Chronozon isn't your typical demon. He's the demon of dispersion, embodying chaos within the abyss. Crowley's own words, the abyss is a swirling vortex of formlessness, a playground for Chronozon's shenanigans, where meaningless forms pop up and assert their individuality before getting blown away like sand in the wind. Thus, depictions of the demon lean towards some formless, shape-shifting thing, and according to Crowley, summoning it, even while contained within its boundaries, threw sand on top of the triangle to breach it, and then proceeded to attack Nuremberg in the form of a naked savage, forcing him to drive it back with a poking stick? Okay, moral of the story, don't summon this demon unless you've got magic circles or sharp objects, apparently. At number 2 is Agares, an ancient duke from the eastern enclaves of the supernatural. Picture an old sage riding a crocodile with a hawk perched on his arm. Agares, a linguistic virtuoso, imparts forgotten languages and has a knack for tracking down runaways. His powers can even extend to causing earthquakes, apparently. Summoning Agares could be akin to calling upon a whole legion of 31 or 36 loyal demon companions, which is way too much evil to break down in this video alone, but I doubt you'd want your very own demonic entourage. Or maybe I should speak for myself. At number 1 is Baal. Baal or Baal is a king of the underworld who holds a prominent spot in various demonological works like the Lesser Key of Solomon, Pseudo-Demonarcavia Demonarum, I totally messed that up, I'm not gonna try again. With the power to render men invisible and commanding a staggering 36 legions of demons, Baal is not your typical dinner guest. But what exactly happens when you decide to ring him up with a Ouija board? Well, if legends hold true, summoning Baal might just bring about some mind-boggling experiences. Reports suggest that Baal has the uncanny ability to bestow power of invisibility upon mortals. Imagine the possibilities, but with any supernatural encounter, there's always a flip side. Baal's power and influence could lead to unforeseen consequences. You see, these texts hint at his ability to gather the favor of others, but what if that favor comes with a price? Perhaps in your pursuit of popularity, you find yourself ensnared in a web of intrigue and manipulation, unable to escape its supernatural grip. Or, you could lose your soul. Now let's address the elephant, or should I say the multi-headed cat-toad man in the room. If Baal were to manifest in your midst, the sheer sight of him alone could leave you questioning the very fabric of reality, or your sanity. Remember, summoning demons isn't a game, and it's important to approach such practices with caution and respect. These ancient rituals are steeped in history and belief systems, and whether you personally believe in their efficacy or not, the psychological impact of attempting to summon a powerful entity cannot be ignored.
In our number 10 spot, we have the tree hopper. I don't usually love insects, so this one just gives me the creeps to talk about. The tree hopper has over 3,000 plus separate species, and each one has a specific look that helps them blend into their environment. The tree hopper can be recognized by their vertical face and enlarged thorax, has a helmet that is tough and hard and comes in different shapes and sizes. They are usually about a half an inch in size. They eat liquid from plant stems and, as you can imagine, are always found in trees, but in warmer parts of the world. They are sometimes referred to as insect brownies, and that once again makes me feel alone in the world, because just why? They are bugs, not food. Just no. But fun fact that actually makes them kinda cool, tree hoppers actually secrete honeydew. So I guess that's kinda cool.
Number 9, the red-lipped batfish. Yep, a lot of words in that one name, right off the hop. The red-lipped batfish, I gotta say, I'm a fan of the look. The red lipstick, she looks like she's ready for a night out on the fish town. But don't let those looks deceive you, folks. Hiding in the depths of the Galapagos, these batfish can grow up to 10 inches long, and the defining feature here, obviously, besides their lips, are their feet. Yeah, these batfish have pectoral fins that allow them to walk on the ocean floor. Yeah, walking on the floor. A fish walking on the floor with lipstick on. What's going on here? Because they belong in the same family as an anglerfish, the red-lipped batfish also has an elysium on its head in order to attract prey. It's got like a clown nose thing almost. I want to just go honk. I really want to pop it. I know I can't, but I want to try. I'm not a fan of deep sea fish, or any fish really for that matter, so this one absolutely creeps me out. I'm also not a fan of clowns. This fish checks a lot of those boxes, so I'm heading out.
Coming up at our number 8 spot, we have the axolotl. There is much speculation as to how to pronounce the name of this creature, but for the most part, most people believe that it is axolotl. But another one that I have to kinda admit that it sorta looks cute, but if I saw it in person, I would probably be terrified. Also, another alien looking creature. Did we just base our alien images in movies off of these kinds of creatures? Known to be usually brown, black, sometimes greenish, and white, but the white ones are bred in captivity. Apparently the white ones are long descendants of a mutant version of the male back in the 1800s. They were from then on bred to be white with black eyes. These creatures are actually very endangered. They are usually found in lakes and in canals in Mexico. What looks like little baby fine hairs on their head are actually gills. So cool. They eat small worms and fish. They also have the superpower to regenerate their jaws, spines, limbs, and get this, even their brains. Whoa, arguably the coolest superpower I've ever come across in an animal.
Number 7, stonefish. Yeah, this next one is great at disguising itself as a rock. So when it comes to deadly ocean life, that's just what you want to hear. Nice, good game, folks. The stonefish is spiny, it's ugly, it looks medieval almost. Each of its 13 spines are all filled with deadly venom, so if you're taking a late night skinny dip, Yeah, keep an eye out for any blinking rocks. Let's avoid that entire area. These fish look angry. They have John Wick eyes. They're on a mission. Something's going on in their soul. Its venom is very lethal to humans, so if you're watching from Australia, I implore you to wear steel-toe boots next time you go to the beach. Stonefish don't use their venom to hunt. They only shoot venom out of their spines if pressure is applied to them. That's worse than anything. The odds of accidentally stepping on one of these guys is significantly higher than any other fish. Because, like I said, they look like rocks that blink. Remind me to never swim in the ocean again, or just go to Australia for that matter.
In our number 6 spot, we have the star-nosed mole. Somebody convince me that this isn't an alien. How is this a real creature from our planet? Being the creature of everyone's nightmares, the star-nosed mole has quite the positive sounding name, like extremely unfitting in my opinion. I would name it the spider face mole. Is that not more appropriate? All jokes aside, the star-nosed mole actually has its own record for being the world's fastest eater, as it is said that it can eat an insect in a quarter of a second. Its star or spider-like face, in my opinion, is actually an organ, and it has over 100,000 nerve fibers, which makes it one of the most sensitive organs on any mammal to touch. The star-nosed mole is found living in the wetlands just along the coast of the US from Canada to Georgia. They are actually known to be blind, but they have mastered their senses and they can swim and smell underwater. Most of their life is spent hunting their prey underground, and they usually live about 2 to 3 years.
Number 5, the blue dragon. This one sounds like it's from a different time, let alone a different universe. Oh my god. The blue dragon, aka the Glaucus atlanticus. First of all, it looks like it's from Pandora. This thing is bright blue. It's a blue sea slug. Believe it or not, it's a gastropod that just decided, you know what, I'm too cool for a shell. Don't need it. And to be fair, when you store poison in your fingertips, you don't need to hide, right? The sea slug can often be found in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Ocean. They favor tropical waters, obviously, who doesn't? And they literally adapt to survive. They eat Portuguese man-o'-war, these deadly jellyfish-looking siphonophores, and during this process while feeding, blue dragons will literally absorb and then store its prey's cnidocytes. They will take its toxins from them and then store them in these small sacs. Yeah, they're literally stealing from you. So you never know what kind of venom is being held at the time. Yeah, they steal your loot. How rude is that? You could poke one and be like, oh, poison, see ya.
In our number 4 spot, we have the pink fairy armadillo. Okay, this creature looks like it belongs in a fairy universe, and clearly its namers would agree. If I were to be an ugly creature, there's no way I would choose anything but to be a pink ugly creature. Way too many people online call this terrifying creature cute. And now I'm sure the world has gone insane. Also, I'm just not a fan of armadillos, so I'm biased. The pink fairy armadillo grows to be about 2.5 to 4.5 inches long. It can weigh up to 4 ounces, and they can live up to 10 years. They're usually found in central Argentina in grasslands, plains, and dunes. They love to eat plants, worms, and insects. They protect themselves by curling into a ball. They have pretty silky yellowish white fur, and what looks like pink armor is actually just blood vessels under its armor. They have been so hard to find, so scientists haven't spent much time studying them to date, probably because they're jumping back into their fairy world dimension every now and then.
Number 3, Brood X cicadas. Okay, this one sounds like a Marvel villain, Brood X cicadas. Hold on to your butts for this one, really. This one is absolutely insane. Over the past couple of years, billions of cicadas came from the ground all over the United States for the first time in 17 years. They were just underground waiting for so long. At the same time, they all just came out and surprised us all. Thing is, they just happened to be born with a fungus made of the same chemical found in poisonous mushrooms. So they didn't have a great time. Yeah, they were a little confused. They didn't feel too hot. The fungus ate away at their bodies, so much so that their butts literally would fall off. They would fall off, they would lose their butts because white spores are pushing them off at this point. These cicadas don't even know what they're doing. They're calling this a zombie virus for bugs. Yeah, more than fair, their ass is falling off. But you can't say that now, can you? What's really happening here is a process called massospora. These poor things just want to mate and move on, but now both males and females are making cicada catcalls, so their whole system is now ruined, all because of this fungus. These cicadas aren't a threat to humans, thankfully, but their tragic summer of 2021 is definitely worth mentioning. We had a bad 2020, cicadas, they had 2021. We're sharing. Sharing is caring.
Coming up at our number 2 spot, we have the California leaf-nosed bat. It's hard to imagine that this extremely cute but also terrifying creature exists, so it must be from a parallel dimension. That's all I can conclude. This creature is of course a part of the bat species, but it has one big distinguishing feature that makes you think that it should be a species of its own. It has Dumbo-like ears. Yes, I'm referring to the Disney movie Dumbo, where the elephant has abnormally large ears that end up acting as propellers and give him the ability to fly. Bats can already fly, so sadly his ears are seemingly pointless to me. What's the point of having big ears if they don't help you fly, is all I'm saying. They're also known to have leaf-looking growths on their nose. They live in caves and mines in the deserts of the US and Mexico. They eat grasshoppers, beetles, moths, and crickets. Their ears are about 1 to 1.5 inches in length each, and they don't usually migrate because their wings are too short and broad for traveling long distances. Would love to know if you think the idea of a big-eared bat hitting you in the face would be terrifying or cute. Let me know in the comment section below.
Number 1. Bulldog rat. Recently on Most Amazing, we've covered projects that are aiming to bring back extinct animals. That's kind of fun. The Lazarus Project aims to bring back extinct woolly mammoths. Yeah, we could see them return in the next 8 or 9 years, which is terrifying but exciting, science-wise. That's lovely. Let's save animals, sure. As long as we don't bring back the bulldog rat, I'm happy. Of course, being way larger than black rats, the bulldog rat was thankfully last seen around 1903. The same time speedwalking was introduced to the world. It's because everyone was booking it home because of these things. That's my personal theory right there. They have 2 to 3 centimeters of fat on their backs. So disgusting, with short tails and thick hair. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing holly or jolly about the bulldog rat, except for the fact that its home was once that of Christmas Island in the Indian Ocean. They were thriving until sailors discovered said island, and they brought with them infected black rats. So it was like West Side Story, but like rat version. It was crazy. So when they pulled up to the island, Christmas Island, they brought with them all these rats, and then they riddled everyone with disease. So it took less than a year to wipe out an entire rat species. Honestly, I'm okay with that. I don't like rats at all. If you're a rat person, sorry. Cool tricks, but nope.